Hilchos Rotzeach Shmiras Nefesh Perek Shmini. We're holding now the 8th chapter. In this Perek, we're going to explain the mitzvah of being mafresh Ari Miklat. How many they did on the 15th of Adar. They would fix up the ways for Ari Miklat every year, and the halachas that the cities of the Levium are Kolel. Halacha al mitzvah say lahafresh Ari Miklat. It's a positive commandment to set aside a city of refuge. And as it says, Shalish Odim Tabdilach, you shall set aside 3 cities. Ve'ein Ari Miklat ne'egis ela b'Eretz Yisrael. The practice of setting aside Ari Miklat is only for Eretz Yisrael. Base. V'sheish Adam Hayu, there are 6 cities. Shalish Hivdol Moshe Rabbeinu me'Iver Yardin. 3 Moshe set aside Iver Yardin, the Transjordan. Shalish Hivdol Yeshua Eretz Canaan, and 3 Yeshua set aside in the land of Canaan. Gimel. In Achas M'Arei Miklot Keletis Achiyivdulu Kulan. None of the cities of refuge served as a haven until they were all set aside. Shneimar, as it says, Sheish Arei Ve'iflat Tiyenu Lachem. There are 6 cities of refuge for you. Moshe informed us that the 3 cities of refuge in the Transjordan did not serve as a haven until the 3 in the land of Eretz Yisrael were set aside. Why did Moshe set them aside? He says, since it's a mitzvah that came to my hand, I will fulfill it. The Daled. In the era of Mashiach, 3 other cities will be added in these 6. Like it says, and you shall add 3 other cities in these 3 cities. This were the 3 cities added in the cities of Kini, Knizi, and Kadmeni, concerning which the covenant was made with Avram, which have not yet been conquered. Concerning these cities, the Torah says, and if Hashem your Hashem will expound your borders. Halacha v'chayavin Bezdin l'chavna d'racham ani miklat l'tatam l'archuvin. Bezdin is obligated to construct roads leading to the cities of refuge. Masir mehem kol nichshavachol takala. So first they have to maintain, they have to widen it, they have to take away any stumbling block or obstacles. On these roads, neither a hill, a valley, or a river should be left. Rather, we build a bridge, so not to impede a person from fleeing there. As the Torah says, you shall prepare a road for yourself. The width of the road of the Ari Miklat was not less than 32 amas. Signs stating Miklat refuge should be written at the intersection so the killers would be aware of the way and turn there. Every year on the 15th of Adar, the Bezdin would send out messengers to inspect the roads leading to the city of refuge. Whenever they found flaws, they would repair them. The Bezdin was laxed in it. It's considered as if they shed blood. When the cities of Ari Miklat were set aside, they would measure from one city to another to determine whether they were set aside in equal measure. You should prepare the road for yourself. The Ari Miklat are designated, should not be big cities of metropolises, nor should they be small villages. Instead, they should be cities of intermediate size. It should be located solely in trading places where water is found. If there's no water, you bring water. It should be located solely in a populated area. If the surrounding populace is reduced, it should be increased. If the number of inhabitants of the city of refuge is decreased, Kedim and Levim Yisraelim should be brought there, to live there. In person, a snare should not be set in such a city, nor may rope traps be set there, so that the Goyal Adam will not come there. All the cities of the Levim serve as a haven. Each is a city of refuge. In addition to them, you shall give them 42 cities. All the cities that you shall give the Levim shall be 48 in number. It should all establish an association between them. All of them serve as a haven. What's the difference between those cities that are set aside as Arei Miklat and the other cities of Levim? The city of refuge serve as a haven, whether one enters them with the intent of taking refuge, or one enters them without the intent. However, the other cities of the Levim only save as a haven if he had in mind. A killer who lives in the designated city of refuge does not have to pay rent. However, if he lives in the city of the Levim, he has to pay the landlord rent. Whenever a city serves as a haven, the surrounding area also serves as a haven. When a tree standing with the limits of a city of refuge and its leaves extends beyond those limits, once the killer comes into his leaf, they serve as a haven. If a tree stands outside the limits and its leaves extend within those limits, as soon as he reaches his trunk, it serves as a haven for him. If the blood redeemer kills him there, he should be executed. And even though the surrounding area of a city serves as a haven, a killer should not dwell there. As it says, "V'yashvu ba betchuma," he shall dwell there, not in the surrounding area.
Hilchos Rotzeach Shmiras Nefesh, Chapter 9, Aleph. Harog shenimtza nefal la'aretz v'leneda minko. If there's a corpse of a slain person found lying on the earth, and you don't know who hit him, the halacha is manichem eisim b'mkoimei, you leave him in his place. The yosin chamisha skin will base the nagadol shel 5 elders or the beis nagad will come and measure the corpse in the nearby cities. Shenemar, like it says, the yotzim inecha v'shiftecha, and your elders and your judges shall go out and measure. And they go and they measure from the corpse to the nearby cities. Even if the corpse is found next to the city, or it's nearly obvious that a particular city is closer, it's still mitzvah to measure. Days. After they measure and establish which city is closest, they bury the person who was murdered in the place that he was found. And the elders of Yerushalayim will go to their place. The elders of Yerushalayim return to their city, and the Beis Din of that city that was designated brings a calf paid by all the inhabitants. They bring the calf to a river that flows forcibly, as it says, a son. This is what a son means in the Torah. Gimel, it should be decapitated with a cleaver, or Beis Din shel Eisa ir Nikos Tiena, Afilahem Mea Kulun Richts in the Sideh of Shabbat came and Fasan. ואין שם בזה חנך ובלש מהקדש ידינו לשוק וסגרם הזה ואיננו לירו. Based in that city and all the elders of the city, even if there are hundreds in number, must wash their hands at the place where the calf was decapitated. There, in the midst of the river, the elders declare in the Lashon Kodesh, our hands did not shed this blood, what did we see with our eyes? Which means that they're saying that the murdered person would have come into their city, and they left him leave without giving him food, or they did not see him leave without accompaniment. Canaan in the Canaan say, Kaper l'amcha Yisrael, atone for your nations Israel. Out it from their hand, and they depart. Hashem forgives them for shedding the blood. Remember, as it says, the blood shall be atoned. Daled. When the Dayanim measured distance from the corpse to the nearest city, it must measure exactly enough for estimation. They should measure only a city that has a basin of 23 judges. They made in Yerushalayim in Mevin, ve'ein made in Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim in Mevin olaruf l'shvalistalku l'shvatim. They should never measure, however, to Yerushalayim, for the inhabitants of Yerushalayim are never required to bring a calf to be decapitated. Why? Because Yerushalayim was never divided amongst shvatim. The Nemar, Ba'adam Asher, from the Techa Nesim L'chol L'Rishta, and the Torah says, in the land that Hashem your Hashem was given to you to inherit. Hey, Karv, Nimsa Karv L'Yishalayim L'Ir Sinim Ba Bezdin, Manichim Esim Maiden El Shar Ha'agaros Esimuch Eslay. The corpse is found close to the Yerushalayim, or close to the city that does not have a court. The city should be ignored, and the measurement should be made for the other cities close by. Imta Salah Asfar L'Ir Sheish Ba'akum, a Maiden Kol Iker Shaizu B'chasta Shaharbu Aki. If the corpse is found close to a border city or a city inhabited by Goyim, you don't measure at all, because there's a chazakah that the person was killed by Goyim. The city that is closest to the corpse does not bring the calf unless its population is equal to that of the city that it's further away. If, however, the population of the city that's further away exceeds that of the closest city, the number of the inhabitants becomes the determining factor, and the more popular city must bring the calf. Although at times the Torah considers numbers to be a determining factor, and at times proximity to be a determining factor, number carries more weight than proximity. If the corpse is found equal distance between two cities, and both cities have the same number of inhabitants, they bring a calf in partnership and make the following stipulation. If the city is the closer, calf belongs to its inhabitants, and the others are giving them their portion in it as a present. And if the other city is closer, the calf belongs to the inhabitants, and the others are giving them their portion as a present. Impossible to the exact measurement, even with regard to something that comes about as a result of human activity. For which portion the corpse should be measured? If the body of the corpse is found in one place, and at another place the body was brought to the head, and the corpse is buried in that place. Always you bring the head to the body. You bring the body to the head, and being buried there. If many corpses are found next to each other, a measurement should be made from the nose of each individually. If one city is discovered to be closest to all of them, it brings one calf for all the corpses. And so, if the corpse found piled one on top of the other, we should measure the top corpse and slide on top of the others. Now, remember, terraces and a corpse is found. The chonuk, the farfrik, is a nikachol. Chol, the term used for corpse, indicates a person slain with a sword, and not strangled to death, nor a person in his death throes. Adama l'tam begal, the terraces on the earth, while buried in the mound, nefel l'tal b'ilon, not hanging from the tree, but suddenly itself up in the was not floating on the water. Another Miko, you don't know who killed him. Even or if you didn't know who killed him, the calf is not decapitated. In base, even if only one witness, or even a servant or a woman or a person disqualified to serve as a witness because of the invaders saw the murder, the calf cannot be decapitated. For this reason, in the later part of the second Beis Hamikdash, when the number of those who murdered overly increased, decapitation of the calf was nullified. Again, one witness says, I saw the murder, and another witness says, you did not see him. Nevertheless, the calf is decapitated. When does this apply? When they come at the same time. But if one guy comes and says, I saw the Heidig, we believe him like two. Later you see, if another witness comes and disputes the Aedis, they mean the first witness did not see the murderer, the words of the second witness are of no consequence, and the calf cannot be and the calf would not be decapitated. Later you saw if one, after the one witness testifies that he saw the murderer, two witnesses come and testify that he did not see him, he considers as if there are two testimonies of equal weight speaking each other, and the calf should be decapitated. Woman says, I saw the murder, and another woman disputes the testimony and says he did not see the calf should be decapitated. This applies regardless of whether the woman came together or one or asked another. If two say we saw him and one says he did not see him, the calf should not be decapitated. If one says, I saw him, and two says, you're not seeing the calf should be decapitated. Whether three witnesses mentioned are either all acceptable or unacceptable. However, one acceptable witness says, I saw the murder, and two women or two acceptable witnesses contradicting the saying, did not see him, calf should not be decapitated. When two women or two unacceptable witnesses say, we saw the murderer. One acceptable witness denies their statement and says that they do not see him, the calf should be decapitated. Even 100 women or 100 unacceptable witnesses say, we saw the murderer. One acceptable witness denies all the statement. All the unacceptable witnesses are considered as if they are one man, with the weight of a single witness. When 3 women or 3 unacceptable witnesses say, we saw the murderer, and 4 women or 4 unacceptable witnesses say, you did not see him, calf should be decapitated. This is the general principle. With regards to unacceptable witnesses, accept the testimony supported by the most witnesses in all situations.
Hilchos Rotzeach Perek 10, chapter 10. Yud Aleph Ein Din Egla Rufanei Elaber Yisrael V'Chein B'Hiver Hayard. Aleph is the Rufa only applying to Yisrael Hiver Hayard. At the Rufa Bashtei Shamim Epofis, the halachas of and the calf that's decapitated, maybe 2 years old or younger. Abba Vaisa Bas Shtei Shamim Epofis Psula. What if it was 2 years and 1 day? It's possible. Le'en Amugim Peistan. Blemishes do not disqualify it. But after became Vaisa Treifa, if there was a Treifa, it's Psula. Kapar in Nemar, well, the Kashal. There's this Kapar has to be in like Kashi. Sacrificial offerings. Gilov. Called out with this person, I love to wish a place come apart. All of it is possible. just like part of the Mishnemar, Asher Lekubad Ba, has never been worked. Lamma Namar Oil, Acher, Nemar Asher Lekubad Ba, Shukila Hilu Shabba of this. Oil Pisim in Shas Malafa, Shlim Shas Malafa, Kim Shamashta. But oil, Tafach Nisolaf, Afa Bishlek Harder's Ba, the Asamon Malaha. Why is yoke that is singled out, seemingly to include with the other tasks in the expression that's never really worked? It teaches that a yoke disqualifies the calf whether or not it carries the well working. If a calf carries a yoke for the distance of a handbreadth, is disqualified through it, even though it did not plow or perform any work. With regards to other tasks, it did not disqualify a calf unless what was actually performed. Okay, that's Talisa Allah in a person. Whatever the calf performs a task for its own benefit, that is not disqualified it. For example, the owner spread his garment over to protect it from flies. But any task that is not for the benefit, for example, the owner spread his garment over it so that it should carry, that is hey, hit everything that's only decapitated, elevated to the Vishanawar, Kapora, concussion. The whole concussion that he fought the entire day's concussion, right? If you're ability to Akas, you don't decapitate two above one, train this of this with us, you did not perform this with those bubbles. Well, at level for Surah Manat, the person came out the first and fears the nap of the Elsa Manat, outbreak the battle in there. So, really, the benefit from a calf that is decapitated, it should be buried at the place where there was decapitated. Now, which there the Nafat also run off, reach a time in there for once it is taken down to the river, it's also the benefit from it. The Mason after the dust up, the daughters kept it afterwards, brought down as a sort of a note, they cover, you can't have a note, and you have to bury it. Use. You saw it, Eden Zenu, Harizum with Terraspano. If Eden Zenu are found to be lying, it's really to benefit from the cat. Kids it also. In Shawar 8, half of the near the East is the bush fire and the picture on the livery. If one witness testified that he saw the murder, two witnesses came and negated his testimony, telling him, later you see, the future side liberty, the Lavathal Arbak, they set aside and they brought him down. Akraf was on which time, and then they were, these saying, Harzim with Terraspano, that's what to run out. Test, Nimsa, I heard it actually take, or if I'd let take something to the other. If the murderer was discovered before the calf was decapitated, should be released and allowed to pass for the hurt. It was the option effort to cover the volcano. Was discovered after the calf was decapitated before it was buried, should be buried in this place. There's all something with Filosa, keep her out, speak of all Tala. For at the outset, it was brought because of Suffolk, it atoned for the lack of knowledge to serve this purpose. Even when the murder is discovered after the decapitation of the calf, it should be executed. Remember, you shall rid yourself of the guilt for the shedding of this. It's forbidden even to sow seeds or till the river in which the calf was decapitated. However, before which is the land itself, they plowed it down in the city, they planted the light, should be punished with lashes. But the listener shall be and after Sham of Shazet, we shall Sham better to father Sham Lafa with Lufa Parka. As I ever permitted to call them flat stirred for stones, but this is similar to weaving the garment there, or sewing there. These are tasks that are not performed by the itself. Class in MR, this is why it says that must never be worked on. If so, it implies that special sewing involves the land itself. Certainly, all work that is forbidden there involves the land itself. But anshe your crevious acharud, the view at Larbofa. But if an Asu of Yangla Philolaka Kamashano, and the inhabitants of the city that was closest to the corpse have delayed and have not brought a calf for the decapitation, they should be compelled to bring it even several years later. But those who are hired to bring the Larup remain liable despite the fact that Yom Kippur passed.